How's everything good?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Very exciting. We've finally released our film, Battleground. You may know it as Untitled, because that's what I called it on this channel for very long. But we started making this about a year ago, and today I wanted to talk about making a film for $0, because we had no budget for this film. It was a complete passion project. Now, full disclosure, I did spend a little money at the end on color correction and sound, but I didn't necessarily have to, but that was a personal choice. But in all intents and purposes, we could have made this film for free. Now, this film was birthed out of conversations that the co-director Kwesi and I began having after the murder of George Floyd, and very quickly I realized how little I knew about the lived experience of one of my close friends, and we decided to start filming these conversations, and slowly we began just building this film organically. We didn't necessarily have plans in the beginning to create a 20-minute documentary, but it just began happening. Now, I'll be talking with Kwesi later on this video, but right now let's talk a little bit about how to make a film for no budget, for $0. Now, the most important thing if you don't have money is you need this: time. Time is the most important thing if you're gonna complete a film with no budget. Kwesi and I worked on this film for almost a year. We literally started filming this May 29th, 30th of 2020. It's almost a year ago. Now, there's this Crater's Triangle, and you may have heard it before. It's fast, cheap, and good. Now, you only get to choose two of those. And Kwesi and I knew that we wanted to make this film both good and cheap. So we couldn't make it fast. We had to just work with the time we were given. You see, you need to pay your rent. You need a job to be able to live. So you have to create the film in the time that you have available. In some months, Kwesi and I's schedules would only allow 1 day of editing. But we just embraced this. We didn't rush the process. And I'm so glad we didn't rush it, because in the end, we have a film that we're very proud of. And what's really exciting is the film got a Vimeo staff pick premiere. You can go run down to Vimeo, you'll see it. It's a worldwide premiere right now. Go check it out. I'll also be bringing it over here onto YouTube in about 2 weeks, but go check it out on Vimeo right now. We're really excited that it's a world premiere. This means if you're trying to make a film for free, just embrace the pace that you have available. But you also want to set deadlines. This is really important as well, or else you'll never get the film done, because there won't be the pressure to release it. Deadlines are really important. Kwesi and I kept setting deadlines. We often missed them, but they gave us targets. It would make me think on a Friday night if I wanted to go home and just chill out, but I knew we had an editing deadline the next Monday. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna spend an extra couple hours at the office and put some time into the film. Having those deadlines gives you goals. It just helps you complete the process. So give yourself deadlines. Treat your project like a client. Feel the weight of disappointment if you miss a deadline. Don't let it crush you, but make sure you're pushing towards deadlines at all times. The next most important thing is don't stress about gear. If you're gonna create your first film, just worry about 2 lenses and 1 camera body and some good audio for your film. These 3 pieces of gear are pretty much all you need, in my opinion. And actually, I would really encourage you, get a monitor. Just get away from the monitor on your camera. It's gonna really help you in post. So if you're gonna need lenses, get a 24 and a 50. I've always said that on this channel. Get a wide and get the 50. It's always beautiful. You can get really shallow depth of field, but then you need the wide to tell the whole story. Those 2 lenses are all you need, or just get a 24 to 70, something in that range. But you might be saying, Mark, I don't own gear. Well, here's the thing. Get gear that you have frequent access to. If that is your phone, embrace the fact that you're gonna shoot a film on your phone. For us, we had an FX9. You might be saying, well, that's not free, that's not $0. Well, we had already paid it off. I had access to it, so we made sure to shoot the entire film on a camera that we had access to, and that happened to be the FX9. You want frequent access to your film because, again, if you're shooting it for free, you need to be flexible. There'll be days or weeks that you won't be able to shoot, and then suddenly you'll have a day free on the weekend. You don't need to shoot. You want to make sure you have access to that camera so that you can execute on those days where all schedules are aligning. But don't try and go shoot your first film on an Alexa or a Red camera if it means that you only get the camera for one day.
As machines tumbled from side to side, we found ourselves between the lines, pulled and stretched across darkened skies, smeared on edges like city lines, seen and yet forgotten. An abyss yet.
Two more quick points. When you're crewing up your film, surround yourself with people who have the same passion for this film. We made sure when we created this film that the people who were on set, who were collaborating with us on this movie, they shared a passion to want us to tell the story of the Black community here in Toronto. You see, when you get people who are like-minded, who have the same passion as you, they're gonna want to make the project better. They're going to want to help elevate the thing that you're creating. That's why it was a no-brainer for me to collaborate with my friend Adam, who was the cinematographer on this film. He's an incredible DP. He had such a passion. When I called him up about the project, I just asked him, would you be interested in this project? And he said, absolutely, count me in. Don't worry about the money. I want to make this film. And he was the perfect DP for that. He got up at 3:30 in the morning with me to shoot this scene. He was awesome. He was there whenever he could be. And I really appreciate that. Adam's a sick cinematographer. He's shot Drake videos and Justin Bieber music videos. He's super talented. Go check his work out. But that was the thing. I wanted to surround myself with people who had passion for this project, so I wasn't begging them to be on set. They wanted to be there. Lastly, when you go into post-production, time your schedule with free trials for various companies, whether it's MusicBed or Epidemic Sound. All these companies, if you need that access to those music libraries, time your post schedule so that you're getting a free trial in the 30 days that you're finishing the film. And that way you can get some free music. And hopefully the film creates some more work for you so you can actually then buy those subscriptions for those types of programs, because they're extremely helpful for your film. And my last quick point is don't bite off more than you can chew. It's way more satisfying and way more helpful for your career to finish a 1 to 2 minute documentary than to try to go shoot a feature-length 90-minute film and never have it completed. That's why for Battleground, even though this is a topic that needs way more conversation than just an 18-minute film, we decided to just make an 18-minute film because that's the resources we had for this. So that's shooting a film for $0, but I couldn't make this film without bringing Kwesi into this conversation. It was amazing getting to collaborate with him. I really enjoyed the process, and I learned so much about him and his journey and his life experience. So yeah, let's get on a call with him.
Hey.
Kwesi.
Are we on camera right now or what?
Yeah, you're on camera right now.
Hi, camera.
There you go. Kwesi, congrats on the film.
Thanks. In retrospect, the film was a very pivotal moment for me, making the film, or obviously the moment of the film, George Floyd. There's ways in which I've grown to see things differently from that moment that have stuck with me. But making the film more particularly it was an interesting experience, a difficult experience. I'm used to writing essays and being able to share all my thoughts, but then cutting down into like, okay, here's 30 seconds. Let's say this in a really simple way, and let's say this really quickly, was very tough for me.
Yeah, it's painful, especially when it's a personal subject like this, where it's probably something that needs a lot more nuance. What advice would you give to first-time filmmakers if people are going out there to make their own documentary?
Have a friend like Mark Bone. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have made the film without you and without you giving me the opportunity to.
Well, I appreciate it, but I feel like you gave me the opportunity, Kwesi, because you let me into your life. And you said yes when I called you that one night and we were chatting, and I was like, do you think we could film our next conversation? Because I was learning so much about you, and I've known you for quite a few years now, that I was like, if this is what I'm discovering about someone who I thought I was close with, like, I'm sure there's other people who have similar experiences where they haven't had the chance to talk or felt like they had the right or knew how to talk about race with their friends of color. And so I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, I think what you said is good advice. You know, there's sometimes just finding a mentor or finding someone who's done it ahead of you can really help.
But one thing that I would love to include on this is that one response I got from a friend of mine was really influential to me and to others in the Black community. When he saw it, he said, "This is a beautiful film, but at what cost did it come?" And he said the cost of it was George Floyd's life. So never forget that.
Yeah.
So if we release this film and it gets 200,000 views and whatever, we should never put out of sight or out of mind that this film came at the cost of George Floyd's life.
Yeah.
I just never want that to go out of sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. That this wasn't just a piece of art that we got to make and do it with frivolous intent. This was started and we finished this film because of an injustice. And so, yeah, I know you're right, man. It's really important to remember. You know, we have that in memory of at the end, but it's so easy to just get wrapped up in your creative process. You forget why you even started, you know? Well, brother, I hope we get to collaborate again, man, and maybe just say like goodbye or something so I can have a place to cut.
Goodbye.
All right. See you, brother. Much love.
Bye.
Man, I absolutely love Kwesi. He's an absolute gem. Thank you, Kwesi, for allowing me into your life, into being a part of this film, and to getting to help tell your story. You were super gracious and super open and honest through this whole process, and I know I've learned so much, and I realize how much I still have to learn. So go check out Battleground, and again, if you're trying to make a film about something that you care about, make sure you're passionate about it. Surround people who are also passionate about it. Get any kind of camera that you can get your hands on. It doesn't have to be an FX9 or an FX6 like we had. You just need to start shooting. And lastly, give yourself time. Give yourself some grace when you're making that film. Don't feel like you have to rush the process. But thanks again to everyone who worked on this film, and thank you for everyone who opened up their lives. Natasha, Kwesi, Julian, thank you everyone for being a part of this film. Go check it out. See you guys in the next one.